Hey Connor, I just wanted to ask you about the situation that the Canucks are going through right now. Obviously, it's it's spread pretty fast throughout their team, and I just wonder if it's a the thought process of just being ever vigilant and buckling down. If it's something you guys are talking about as a group, just how fast they can get away from you if you're not careful.
Yeah, I mean it's something that we've talked about all season long is keeping it out. I think it's a huge part of the season. Unfortunately, obviously what's happened in Vancouver is a lot more than hockey. So we're obviously thinking, we're hoping that everyone's doing all right and families and everyone are okay and they get healthy as quickly as possible. And as for us, I think we had that little thing there happen in Montreal where really, it affected us. I mean, it wasn't our team, but it affected us a lot. And I think, it was kind of a reminder, and then obviously what's happening with Vancouver, just to how important it is to keep this thing out.
You guys have had a couple of things here and there too. There was a blip there with Jesse. Jim Playfair the other night missed a period waiting on and the team uses the phrasing abundance of caution. As you look at your organization and the way it's being handled, is there a sense that you players get that everything that can be done to keep you guys safe and everybody safe is being done, and you feel generally day to day like it's being managed properly?
Yeah, absolutely. I think our whole staff has done a great job. TD, Doc Naidu, Kenny, everybody's done a great job of managing and trying to follow the protocols as tightly as we can, and do everything we can in terms of a team standpoint and from a management standpoint. I think everyone feels really safe and protected. So they've done everything right so far.
Tim Campbell, NHL.com.
Hi, Connor. Milan Lucic is going to play his 1,000th regular season game in the coming days. I hope this doesn't require an official ceasefire, but could you share something about what you learned about him as a teammate, what kind of teammate he is?
Well, I think the biggest thing about Luch is he's just got the biggest heart. He's a guy that cares so deeply for his teammates. I think it was his time here was he had a great impact on myself and Leo and a lot of other guys. So for him to play 1,000 is pretty special, and he should be really proud of that.
Thanks, Connor.
Daniel Jim Bowman, The Athletic.
Connor, we talked a little bit about the COVID situation, earlier with Ryan. Just with the Canucks, what you had to go through in Montreal, not directly affecting you, but kind of subsequently affecting you. How different has the season felt like? Does it felt more like a slog than maybe past years?
Well, I think the Canadian division has done so well at keeping it out that it's felt really normal for the most part. Kind of up until this point, every other division, every other, kind of team has dealt with something like this. So, this is new for everyone up in the North Division. So, it's kind of slowed things down. I think there's going to be some delays, some, days in between games and whatnot, but we just have to make sure that when game time comes, whenever that may be, we're ready to go.
And the other night, Friday night, was a pretty big win against a hated rival, and really kind of, I think, vaulted you very close to the sure spot in the playoffs. Obviously, still some time to go, but with about a third of the year left, what is kind of the message to this team? Is it it seems like kind of maybe the dog days here with everything happening. How are you kind of approaching the last little bit here as you try to iron out some things toward the playoffs?
Well, I think you got to stay on it. I think. Something we kind of talk about in our room is lots of guys have given up a ton to play this year. Guys away from families, guys, sitting in hotel rooms doing nothing all year long. So, everyone's given up a lot to make this season happen. Across the league, but especially here in the North Division and Edmonton especially. So, I think we can't let that go unrewarded by taking our foot off the gas here.
Jack Michael, 630 Chad.
Connor, team success has enabled you and Leon to win a couple of major individual trophies. I'm wondering, because of the team success this year, do Darnell Nurse and Mike Smith deserve to be in consideration for some of the major trophies at their positions?
Of course, I think you know, you look at their body of work, you know, what they've been able to do for our team. It's pretty unbelievable. I mean, obviously Smitty back there, um, you know, he's such a battler, a leader in our room. You know, he obviously stops the puck, but you know the way he plays the puck helps our D out a lot. You know, he's been unbelievable for us. And then Nursey, I mean, this guy's asked to do just about everything he can do as a defenseman. You know, PKs, plays top line or plays against top lines, shuts down, produces offense. You know, gets on the power play every now and then. So, you know, he's been asked to do just about everything, and he's been amazing. So, you know, I think if you're one of those voters, you'd be you know, wrong to not take a peek at them.
And just if you wouldn't mind giving me a look ahead to Montreal, considering that 3 of the games were very early in the year and last week was kind of a one-off under strange circumstances. In some sense, is this the start of a 5-game series that'll tell you where these two teams stack up against one another?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they came into Edmonton early on in the year and they played great and really beat us bad and you know, then we played them in their barn in a back-to-back, and they got us on a back-to-back under some weird circumstances. So, you know, the 4 games have kind of been a bit unusual. So, yeah, I mean, it's another test for our group. You know, they're obviously playing some good hockey since they've been back from their little break, and you know, it's a good chance for us to show how we stack up against them.
Final question, Terry Jones, Post Media.
Connor, you talk about letting your foot off the gas. Is there a lesson to be learned here as well in combination with this about what happened during the pause last year and coming back and not being able to finish it off with a success of any sort in the playoffs?
I mean, a week off is a little bit different than, you know, 3-4 months or whatever we had. So, you know, but yeah, I guess there's a lesson to be learned from that. I think, you know, continuing to practice hard, you know, make each other better each and every day in practice is a big part of it. You know, taking care of yourself away from the rink is another big piece of it. So, you know, no one really knows what's going to happen with the schedule here. I think it might get a little. We'll have some days in between games, and then it'll quickly go back to, you know, every other day and back-to-backs and whatnot. So, you know, use this time to, you know, maybe get a little rest and be ready when it is game time. And yeah.
And with tagging those 2 games on the end of the schedule and quite possibly another couple on, you guys are going to end up with a lot more air miles than I think any other team in the league. But you've had so many back-to-back and triple headers and everything like that. Is travel really a factor involved in this?
Absolutely. It's not easy to go, you know, fly across the country and in different time zones and whatnot. So definitely takes a toll. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we got to be flexible. We got to be, you know, you can't have any excuses. So it's not easy, like I said, but it's no excuse. And we got to make sure we're ready.